Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and happy Valentine's Day. Feliz Día del Amor y la Amistad. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paloma, and today we're going to be doing a budget breakdown. It is the first paycheck of February, and I'm excited to use it for a couple of things. As you probably saw in the previous video, I got paid on the 31st, which was the last day of January. We did a January recap, and I also did a overview of what I was thinking I was going to be spending in February. And I'm so glad that I did, because there was a couple of things that were lining up for February that I wasn't taking into account that were pretty big expenses. And it gave me time to reflect and reach out and maybe postpone some plans, maybe change some plans, and better prepare for certain things coming. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first paycheck and see what we're up to. Starting off, my total debt is $502,000. That is what's left of the mortgage. Every other personal debt has been paid off. And I'm trying to keep it that way. It is our February 14th paycheck of 2025. So income, I did get my paycheck for $2,000, and rollover money, I was a little too lazy to count it, mostly because any cash that I have, I think I only have like $40 left in cash. My bank account had more, but the coins, I forget how much I have in coins, and I didn't want to sit there and count coins. So I'm thinking I'm going to roll up the coins and take them to the bank, so that way I don't have to count coins anymore. But rollover, who knows? I did have to pull out money from savings of $800, and you'll go ahead and see why. But I do have that $800, and I think I had like $600 left in my bank account. Rollover money, I have no idea. I was too lazy to track it. So there we go. Savings. I am adding $1,000 into savings once I finish doing all of the making sure that everything was paid for. I still had like 1,400 and something left, and so I decided to put 1,000 back into savings, and going towards my extra home payment. Technically, because I did take out 800 and I put back 1,000, I really only added $200 to my savings, but I'm allocating those 1,000 to my extra home payment because that is coming up in April and I need to be ready. Now, expenses, the fun part. Everything in blue, you'll see these are the expenses that I already made. So home and utilities, we talked about what's covered in the 31st paycheck. And then we had the two on our credit card, which was the Cox and water bill that I was going to pay at this pay period. And I have, so for homes and utilities, I've spent $1,589 with 51 cents, and we're all set. We're good to go. Everything was paid off. Now, variable expenses, I have spent 148 with 83 cents. And that includes the biggest category, which was just in general dining. And that includes from like eating, drinking, grocery runs, etc. And then holidays, that includes my friends from church invited me to a Galentine's. So I was in charge of salads. And then my cousin and her husband hosted a Super Bowl watch party. And so we did go to that. And that was, I think I took the Vaughn's chocolate chip cookies and those mini brownie bites, and chocolate chip cookies were gone. They loved it. And it was great. And then work related, I spent $11. We have like a staff meeting potluck thing every other staff meeting, but I did spend $11 on that. Laundry, I did do laundry. I went and I did laundry, and I think I spent like $17 worth of laundry. But my card was filled from who knows when was the last time I did laundry. And so I didn't have to really spend anything. But I did mark it down as I went to do laundry. And then church fees, well, not church fees, just church. I spent $6. And then I did register for a young adult leadership course through the diocese. And so that was 150. And we did have a dance at the church. And I had to go pick up some things that were running out during the dance, but that got all reimbursed. And then yearly. The yearly is where I wasn't really expecting to spend too much. I knew that my insurance, my car insurance was going to be due, and that was for 1,020. And my plan was to break it up between February and March. It wouldn't be that big of an expense, but I thought it was due March so that I could pay like a portion February and then the rest in March, but it was actually due February. So if I wanted to pay a portion, I would have done that in January. Either way, they did go down. So it's now 707 with 88 for that, which was, I mean, I won't complain. And then the tires is something that I had to do. And y'all remember I was thinking $500 and I thought that was a lot. No, it was not $500. It was 792 with 41. I got all 4 tires changed. The back one had a construction nail on it, and then the front ones were just like worn out. And I'm glad I did, because this past week it's been like sprinkling. I wouldn't say raining because it's not raining as hard as it was last year. But this year has definitely been much more dry and normal, how like you think of when you think of in San Diego, like the rainy season, but it's still like, slippery. And that was 1,529 spent this month on just like yearly fees. And this is why I'm like so adamant this year of starting to save for my yearly expenses. Because as you've seen, I've been saving $130 each month. Well, since January, so only 2 months now, to my yearly expenses. But if I had been doing that earlier in the year, I'd have like all of these fees, which I have, like most of them are in the beginning of the year and like halfway through the year. And so like halfway through the year is fine, like I'm saving up now, but the beginning of the year, coming off of like from October, I went on a vacation road trip thing to the Grand Canyon. Then November is just in general the like holiday stuff. December, we had the extra home payment, and then I finally paid the like termites and just general holiday shopping stuff. And then January, like we had the one-time expense fees. I knew that I was going to be having my like car insurance. Just like in general, like there's so many fees in the beginning. February, I know like we tend to try to do taxes as soon as possible. We're also going to be paying like home taxes in March. So there's just like a lot of things that where my budget is really going to be tied up in those yearly expenses. I am so glad I have an emergency fund. I am so, so glad. And with that, we have upcoming expenses. I'm estimating 354 in upcoming expenses. I do feel like I'm missing something, but I can't remember what. So I am taking a trip this weekend, and I'm estimating 250 for it. And then gas, I'm estimating 80 just because I think I'm low now and I need to fill up if I'm gonna be driving far, drive around, come back, and then just like fill up. I don't know. And then tech, I do have my tech bills coming up, which amounts to $4. And then I do have the gifts for the 2 folks. And one of them is turning 21. So I was thinking of getting them a champagne bottle. I do feel like I'm missing something, but I can't think about what. I am going on a Valentine's Day dinner today. But my partner said he was going to cover it. He's been planning for it. So we'll see. We'll see what that goes. And I am making a little card. But I already had all the materials here, so I didn't spend anything on that. Tomorrow is the person's 21st birthday. that we'll be spending on. I guess just in general, like food isn't in there between now and the next 2 weeks. But I do have, I think, after paying off the credit cards and after adding the 1,000 to the savings, I still have like $450 left in my bank account. And if I'm gonna be using 354, I should have more than enough to do some eating out. So it's the birthday party, then it's the trip, and it's long weekend for President's Day. Then throughout the week, it's mostly work and then afternoon meetings, but that usually doesn't cost money. Next weekend, I don't have anything planned. I might be working on that Saturday. There is a like festival of love that they're trying to get us to go table to as part of work. And then Sunday is church, and then the week again. So I don't know, but I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I committed to do something or go somewhere, but it's not on my calendar. I forgot to write it, and I feel like it's there, but I don't know. Hopefully it's not, and everything's accounted for, and we'll be fine. I didn't add anything to Roth IRA. My retirement account, I added 114, and savings we talked about, I added 1,000. I keep going back and forth in this, like the retirement, Roth IRA, like planning for the future. I feel like I don't have enough information to move forward with it. And then with everything that's happening, the government, not sure. They keep saying they're going to cut things, they're not going to cut things, they're going to stop financial aid for students, they're going to cut funding for like schools, they're going to, it just keeps going back and forth on every like topic that you can think of. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I kind of want to let it settle a little. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I think this one was a quick one compared to what I normally have. I feel like there's so many things that I don't know, there's not too many things happening in this next, well, there is a lot of things happening in this next portion of the month and the paid period that's going to be covered, but mostly that it hasn't happened yet, so I don't have expenses to go review on it. It's just projections. And then I was thinking that I would only have $500 to really put towards savings for this pay period. And I'm glad to see that I have the full 1,000 that I can put back. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like that last year. I feel like reflecting on the last 3 years, I was working on a video for y'all and just kind of reflecting on finances for the last couple of years. And I think I was pulling up data from like 2019, 2018 till now. And there's still like data that I haven't been able to pull because I just haven't looked through paperwork to give you the data. So then I haven't posted or started filming that video. Just in like remembering the last, like that first year of 2023, I really was like trying, like it really first started opening my eyes to this, like paying attention to money and finances, and then trying to figure out like how do I budget. And even though on paper it was good, I was still going way over. To then in 2024, just like going as 2023, I think like halfway through the year 2023 to 2024, just like going as cold turkey as possible and just like really restricting finances without feeling like I'm gonna die, and paying off as much as I could from my debt, to finally paying off my car, to finally paying off my credit cards and all of that. It feels great now that my budget is this boring. Is this boring? Yes, I did have like things that I didn't foresee, like, oh, I forgot that I had to do my, you know, insurance thing. Like I realized the date was earlier than I thought, and then I had the emergency with my car tires. But it was fine because I could just put it on the credit card, pull from my savings to pay the credit card so it wouldn't close. the balance wouldn't close on that big amount on the credit card. And then I still get my paycheck, and I still able to put back the money that I pulled and still add like a little bit more to it. And I still have like $450 left after paying everything, to use the next 2 weeks, on, whatever may come up. Yeah, but I couldn't have done that if I wasn't reviewing like what does February, like what have I committed to for February? Because if I was reviewing it now where I'm like, oh, like I actually don't have enough to go for a full like 3-day weekend trip, right? Because the plan was to do that. And if I had realized it now, like it'd be like, oh yeah, it's kind of too late to cancel on folks and say like, oh, actually I can't cover my part, versus like in the beginning of the month, messaging them and being like, hey, like actually I think I'll only be able to join for one night instead of, the 2 nights, 3 days type of thing. I don't know. It allowed for, and then like, right, messaging the other folks like, hey, I'm trying to narrow down plans with my partner and seeing like how much we're allocating towards it. And then, my partner is barely also getting into finances. They've been watching Caleb Hammer, which is the one that I was watching earlier in my finance career. That really like kind of helped light that fire. And I've seen it. I've seen it in him now. And so yeah, he's like, I added us to the budget. I got it. Okay, then. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling now. I don't have anything else to say. Besides that, happy Valentine's Day, feliz Día del Amor y la Amistad. I hope you have a great long weekend, and that you find joy, love, and peace every single day. And with that, I will see you at the next pay period.